This segment is brought to you by Cypress Stop, home of the happy customer. All right, we're back. We're talking about Invest 93, and let's go right to the map. And we're going to have members of the Levee District joining us to give us some crucial information. There's the shot right there. We have the stick set right at the center of where that circulation is, and we have it coming off. But if you notice, real quick, center of circulation starting right above the stick here. Keep your eye on it as it meanders just a little bit more towards the center of the stick, which tells me that the path is not north of this stick right now. It's going to come out into the Gulf, and then we'll see. A lot of the models have shifted. Let's go to the model shot if we can, Jay. There's your model shot. If we can zoom in on that, that way you see a lot of the models have shifted a little bit more towards New Orleans and west of Terrebonne Parish, so they're split. You got a lot of them going towards the mouth of the Mississippi. More of them have shifted west, which is indicative of what you just saw on the stick shot. So it looks like the center of circulation, although still very questionable. We're going to wait and see when it gets into warmer waters in the Gulf of Mexico. Joining me now, Miss Angela Hidalgo, the Executive Director of the Terrebonne Levee and Conservation District, and Mr. Tony Alford. You see him right there. He is the president of that same Levee and Conservation District board. Good to have you all on board. Good to see you.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
All right, here we go again.
Yep.
All right. Of course, and I don't want to lead anybody on. This is not a big Cat 3, 4, or 5 hurricane, but we don't know what's going to happen when it gets to the Gulf, and I know y'all are always preparing people. And it's a good test run for a lot of people, but we don't know how much rain we're going to have. Of course, y'all worried more about tidal surges and everything like that. So, Angela, let's start with you. How are y'all preparing right now? What are you feeling on this?
So right now we've completed all of our maintenance cycles for all of our structures, and we're in tip-top shape, ready to respond to this event should it become an event that we need to be concerned about. We do have all of the sluice gates, the screw gates closed in the parish, and we do have 2 of our floodgates closed. So you can see the map of our gates right there. We have Placid Canal floodgate is closed, and Upper Little Caillou Barge is closed, and that's where we are as of right now. We are going to be closing Grand Bayou, which is in the northeastern part of the parish of the alignment, and that'll be closed after lunch today.
Okay, so as we see all this, once again, you've had a lot of practice doing this, but this is also a different scenario. Every storm has a different scenario, and Tony, you've been through so many of them, you've been on the air with me for so many storms. Every storm, you just got to look at it and go, okay, what's the fingerprint of this storm? This is a quirky little storm.
Right. Oh, yeah. So, to be a good exercise, right? Of course, we'd rather not have any exercises.
Yeah.
But I think we're prepared. Angela, Trey, Mitch, our program manager, they all work in sync. And, we'll figure out as we have to close these floodgates, if we do. This thing's sort of early.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a lot of rainfall, it looks like, more than anything. And hopefully not that much wind, but we are prepared for the worst.
Yeah. And let's go back to the stick shot. I want to just show the public a little bit more about what I'm talking about. If you could just focus in on this area, you could see the center of circulation as it comes here, and just north of Orlando, and we can just keep an eye on that. So we're going to keep this shot all the way through the storm. If you see this center of circulation starting to meander a little bit more up here, there's actually better for everybody because then the land gets involved. And although we do have some warm waters here in the Gulf, the land will be a problem for this storm. So it's better for everybody. If you look at the glob in front of it, all the bands, this is very disorganized at this point. What's going to happen when it gets over the warm Gulf water. We just don't know yet. So it's going to depend where this thing tracks. If it starts tracking more south of the stick, where if you watch this glob of clouds, everybody always says, well, how do you tell where it's going? Don't focus in on just that center circulation. Focus in on the whole mass of things. Just look at the whole mass of things. It is tracking a little bit more like this. So I think that's what's driving those models to go a little bit more westerly. Does that mean I'm signing off and going to Vegas on that today? No. This is so hard to predict these kind of storms because they're tropical events and you just don't know where they're going to go. They have a mind of their own, but they do drop a lot of rain. We'll take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk more with the Levee District about their preparations. Don't go away. This segment was brought to you by Cypress Stop, home of the happy customer. All right, we're back. Keep in mind, if you're watching this on Facebook and YouTube, depending on what time you pick these up, they should have a little timeline on the bottom saying taped 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. It's going to change. This thing's going to start moving. It's going to be fluid. So don't lock in on something we've taped 5 hours ago. Just keep watching. We're going to give you updates. So we're going to go back to Miss Angela Hidalgo and Mr. Tony Alford talking about Levee District stuff. When do you know when to go out to the public and say, okay, we're going to close this, or we got this scenario? It's always fluid, isn't it?
It is. And that's why we like to go out in front of the public as often as we can. As soon as we think we might be operating the floodgates, we like to notify them, because I know that there's people out there fishing and working, and they might not be paying attention to news alerts. So we try to push out as early as possible to give people as much notice as we can.
But that's the other trick. You're not just talking about people that live in houses. You're talking about people in boats.
Yep.
And everything else. So sometimes you got to go, well, okay, wait, we got more than one scenario working.
It's a delicate balance between protecting people's homes and also protecting their livelihoods, allowing them to continue to work and fish and do things they need to do. And meanwhile, when we close the gates, we understand that they might be on the other side of it. So it's definitely a delicate balance.
Where are we at right now? Now, we're talking about 11 o'clock in the morning, so it's going to change. It'll be fluid. But if we had to tell people right now what the plan is there a concrete plan, or is that still evolving?
So I can tell you definitely that tomorrow morning we're going to be closing Humboldt Canal. We will look at closing Bush Canal tomorrow afternoon. And that's a big deal because there's a lot of people that go through that gate for fishing.
So Wednesday morning?
Yes.
Just for people
Wednesday
watching on
morning,
Facebook.
that's right.
YouTube.
Wednesday morning, we will be closing Humboldt Canal and we'll be watching Bush Canal. And my team is very good at predicting when to close the gate safely and also to make sure that we get as much notice as possible so people can be aware.
Yeah, y'all have gotten pretty good at that.
We are. We have a great
There's
team.
a lot of practice over the years, you know?
Right.
Tony, let me ask you something. I know y'all dealing with, yesterday, me and you eating lunch, you were still talking about where you're working on levees and doing these things.
Yeah.
That's also fluid. And that's an ongoing thing. You were just on the phone with the Attorney General. That's ongoing too. Y'all got so much work going on in these levees. Bring us up to speed.
Well, a lot of the work that you do, it's not during hurricane season. We try to work based on hurricane season coming the next year, and we try to do as much work as we can to get as much done before next hurricane season. Mm-hmm. So when you bid and what you bid and those sort of things, we're hoping our partner, the Corps, starts working a little better with us. But you just take into account all the factors dealing with the Corps, the CPRA and the issues, which, of course, I'm on the CPRA now. Yeah. What funding you can get, and that's always an issue. How much funding do we have? Can we bid this project out? If we don't have quite enough, where can we, rob Peter to pay Paul, right? To be able to put this on the ground. I can tell you, Angela has been handling finances forever. She's been around longer than I have. Mm-hmm. And, it's always an issue, where we're going to get the funding from. And she's very frugal and, watches what we spend and where we spend, knowing that we maybe have another project coming up.
I know you have to be careful. You've been a good spokesperson with the Corps. I beat up on them for 30 years, then I eased off when it looked like they were going to help us. Now I'm back on beating them up. Did they allocate like 400 million and we got like 16 million?
They've been having $400 and something million in their possession since 2021 when we signed that partnership agreement. I would much rather pat them on the back than continue to try to push them to try to put some of that money on the ground. So of that $400 and something million that they've been having in their possession since 2021, we've got 16 million on the ground.
So that hurt, 16 million. So, okay. So we just want to let them know we're watching. I know y'all have to work with them. Y'all got to be very delicate, and y'all have done a good job of working with them, but come on, we just need to get this done and get it over with, and you're trying to build levees, and y'all trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
What are we looking at surge-wise on this, whatever it's going to be, on this storm system? About 3 feet? What are we looking at?
I think the forecast was 3 to 5 feet. I'm sorry, 1 to 3 feet.
Okay.
So that's what we're planning for, 3 feet.
Yeah.
You know, we always plan for the higher
Correct.
surge.
Correct. And of course, rainfall is, a lot of people think, well, the levee district needs to monitor the rainfall. That's a totally different thing, isn't it?
Right.
And I always try to differentiate that because I don't want to confuse people. Y'all worried about surge and coastal things, right?
We are concerned about the rain. So that's why we work to make sure that our pump stations are pumping right now. And I'm sure the parishes, we work closely with the parish to make sure that they're pumping, because Terrebonne does have a large reservoir that we can use to, account for the rainfall so that we don't flood from rain.
Now, the parish president was on it yesterday, said they were pumping. So I guess they're getting the reservoir ready for you.
That's good.
So Tony, where are we at now with the levees?
Well, just to build on what you just mentioned, so you sort of, some things you live and learn in the process of having this system. And we talked about closing all those structures. That's why we try to close the smaller ones to be able to concentrate on the larger ones. And it's a job. I mean, these things are not easy to operate, open and close. And so that's been a job. But what we've done, for example, I think it was Zeta that first presented that to us with that west wind.
Yeah.
It pushed Lake Boudreaux up against the levee on H2, H3, and of course you've got Placid, and you've got Willis Henry, Bush Canal floodgate, you've got Petite Caillou, and what we were able to do is put together a study that showed we had a 9-foot surge. That whole lake moved over into that corner. Well, what we did is we did a quick study that showed, hey, if we had additional openings or flap gates on those structures, then we'd be able to take off about 5 of that 9 feet. So it would only be 4 foot. So we're actually just about complete with hazard mitigation money, federal money that we're able to grab to improve those structures so that they let water out a little more readily.
Right.
If something like that should happen
But
again.
that was a learning experience because that had never happened before. You're right. We were on the desk watching this happen and going,
Right. Wow.
that's a first.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be fluid in your thinking so that, you can't get married to one thing because every storm will show you a different thing. You go, all right, we can make it better.
You have
That's
to
what
learn.
y'all are doing.
You have to learn.
Management, yeah.
You have to learn, and you have to know what floodgates to close. We become very good at that with the tide coming in and going out, right? When to close those floodgates. And Angela and our crew are tremendous with that. In fact, I think we've even got some additional. The firefighters to sort of learn that to assist.
Yeah.
Should something happen and it get really crazy, then we could use that
That's a good thing.
assistance.
Let's do this. We'll take a break. And also just to let everybody know, we have cameras on these floodgates. We have a partnership with the Levee District. They do a great job. There you go. We're showing you some of them. So we keep an eye on it. We also have some in Lafourche Parish. We have a camera in Grand Isle. So we keep abreast of it until a camp flies out in Grand Isle and knocks the tower down like happened in Ida, but we can't control that. We're not expecting that with this one. So you can take a deep breath, but we will watch it all the way through. We'll take a break. We'll come right back with the Levee District. Don't go away. This segment was brought to you by Trapp Chevrolet. We're always on your side. All right, we are back and we are talking about this system that's coming in. And trust me, folks, I even I didn't want to put the stick up, but it's showing circulation, so I did it. This is not a Cat 3, 4, 5, or 2, or whatever. So don't panic. Somebody was just texting that people were saying the stick is out. It's going to be a bad one. That don't mean anything, all right? That's just the path of the center of circulation. Once again, we're talking with the Levee District, Ms. Hidalgo, Mr. Alford. We're talking with them about, Tony, let me come to you. Where are we at total-wise in the parish with the levee systems and the heights, and how do we stand at this point?
Yeah, well, you know, we're in a whole lot better shape than we were last year, right?
Yeah.
And we have issued notice to proceed with some contractors from Petite Bayou all the way to Bush Canal. So that's underway. It's under construction right now to get it from 12 to 15. Most everything is, we have about half the levees right now, approximately half, are to 15. We're racing to get to 15. The others are about 12. So we've got Lower Dularge is about 12. Reach E that connects to that is 15. We have F, that's in the Corps' hands, that's at 12 still. We have G, all from Bubba Dove all the way back to Petite Caillou is 15. H2 and H3, like we talked about, is on its way to 15. It's under construction. We have Lower I that is at about 14. We've got Upper I that we're actually doing some work in-house, and we're hauling dirt to that area to try to get it to 15. You've got J2, that's 12. You have J3 that is at 15. J1's at about 12. And you have K and L that are about 10 to 12. But remember, we just did K and L not too long ago. In fact, we even expanded the contract to include L to get up to 12 instead of just 9 foot left.
Well, let me just bring people up to speed. I remember after Katrina and Rita, we were talking about potato levees, and I think some of our highest levees were 10 feet. They were being overtopped by Rita and Katrina at that point. So we made a lot of progress.
A lot of progress. You know, so we're in good shape, but I hate to say that. You know,
You never rest. I know you.
at 15 feet, I would feel a whole lot
You're
more
going to be
comfortable.
nervous when they're 25 feet levee.
No, at 15 feet, we're going to feel good. At 15 feet, I always say this, at 15 feet with the huge reservoir that we have, okay, in the local parish levees that we've built, you know, to probably 8-10 feet now,
Redundant.
okay? We've got that redundancy, and it would probably be pretty comparable to having 18-foot levees in Lafourche.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that huge reservoir. If it comes over, it's in town, right?
That's a good point. That's a
we
good
have that room, and it would, you feel so much more comfortable at 15, but 12 and 15, we're in a whole lot better shape.
Well, I should have said, I know when it's 15, you're going to still be building higher. I know how you are.
We're gonna be able to breathe a little easier.
I know you will, but thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right, real quick, Angela, as we wind down this show, talk about the gates, the other, Pont-au-Chien and all the others.
So we're monitoring, the following floodgates are being monitored: Pont-au-Chien floodgate, Cocodrie floodgate, Bayou Grand Caillou, the big Houma Navigation Canal, Bubba Dove floodgate, Dularge, and Falgoux Canal. So those gates are all yellow on the map. They're being monitored. We will put out a notice this afternoon, not to panic anyone, but just as required, our 24-hour notice that perhaps tomorrow, as early as tomorrow afternoon, we can operate these gates. It will depend on the weather forecast, and it will be a decision made by not just me, but my entire floodgate closure team, which includes Tony and includes the National Weather Service and Emergency Operations Center, and et cetera.
All right, good deal. And just to let everybody know, Tony's on that CPRA board too, so we're going to be trying to get information from Mr. Dove and Tony on a separate show. Once again, on Facebook and YouTube, check the time we launched the show, because you want to get the most current show. Let's go back to the stick map with 40-some seconds left to go, just to let everybody know. Keep your eye on that center of circulation and where it comes out in relation to the stick. The stick is only a reference at this point. We have it going right in between New Orleans and Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish and Grand Isle. So let's just keep an eye on it. Let's see if its center of circulation ends up south of the stick or north of the stick. That'll tell us a lot. And then we'll watch the intensity of it. Maybe nothing, It may develop a little bit. Time will tell. We'll let you know as it goes. All right, for the whole crew here at HTV, we'll be back with more updates on Invest 93. This segment was brought to you by Cardiovascular Institute of the South, providing our patients the highest quality cardiovascular care available.